Hello and welcome back to Benjamin and Jack's reviews. This time for a New Year's special. Today we are going to be discussing the new Timothee Chalamet, Josh Safdie movie Marty Supreme, which was out in UK cinemas on a limited release on the 26th on Boxing Day and is out for a full release on the 1st of January. We're also discussing James Cameron's third installment into the Avatar trilogy, Avatar Fire and Ash. Jack is going to be doing his sentimental value review. Jack is also going to do If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and I am going to do the new SpongeBob movie, the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants. Jack, how are you?
I'm doing great, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy New Year, and sorry we couldn't do last week. We were busy with the holidays, so we didn't have enough time. But now we are back for a double episode, so we're combining If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You and Avatar together.
Yes, that is correct. So, shall we dive straight into Marty Supreme? Obviously, Josh Safdie works with his brother Benny Safdie, and they split to do separate projects. So, Benny Safdie has done the Smashing Machine, which I've not seen yet, with The Rocks, and
Yeah. And
Josh
I have
Safdie.
to.
Yeah, and Josh Safdie has done Mighty Supreme, which starring Timothee Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Zion, Kevin O'Leary, Abel Ferrara, and Tyler the Creator. So the letterbox description is: Dream big. In 1950s New York, Marty Mauser, a young man with a dream no one else respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. So, Jack, do you want to just talk a bit more and add to that plot?
Yes. I kind of also want my sort of relationship with Marty Supreme because so I heard about this film when it was the Josh Safdie Tyler the Creator film, and then the set photos came out of Timothée Chalamet. So I've heard of it since it was filming, and it was like one of my most anticipated of the year. Then now finally seeing it, and I'm a big Safdie Brothers guy. I haven't seen Heaven Knows What or Daddy Longlegs. I think that's what it's called here. I'll double
Yeah, it
check,
is. It
but
is.
yes, okay. But I love Good Time and I adore Uncut Gems. I think the Safdie brothers are, well, I should just say Josh Safdie for this is great. And I think Marty Supreme. Maybe recency bias. We'll see in a week when I rewatch it again. Maybe with a friend. Is his best work. And no, yeah, I
Yes.
adore Josh Safdie as a director and I can't wait for more. I need another Josh Safdie film right now.
Yeah. This was written by Ronald Bronstein, who wrote pretty much all of their feature films together, and it was edited by Josh Safdie and Ronald Bronstein. The cinematography was from Darius Konji, who did Seven, Mickey 17, Eddington, Oksha, and the Funny Games remake, I think it was. So he's done quite a lot. Jack, is there anything you want to bring up first?
I mean, should we bring up the like obvious? Timothée
Yeah.
Chalamet.
Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet. Now, when I say this, I say it's about review or performances that are more physical, such as I'm going to use the example Bill Skarsgård and Nosferatu, where you don't recognize the person, but what makes I think Timothée Chalamet's performances. See, after I think the first 5 minutes, I forgot that I was watching Timothée Chalamet. He truly just becomes Marty Mazur, and he just like embraces this role and he just becomes him. And I feel like there may be some even like relatability to him. I think he pushes himself like Marty to become the greatest actor ever, as he says in all his interviews. And I think this was a role made for him, and it's the
Yeah.
best role of the year, best performance of the year, I should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's his Oscar to lose at the minute. I think he's probably my front runner at the minute. Obviously, I think with lead actor, there's a lot of wiggle room. But I think that the two that are locked for me are Timothée Chalamet and Leonardo DiCaprio. I think they're two locks, but I think if I'm going to give it, I think it will probably be to Chalamet because he came close last year with the Complete Unknown. Obviously, lost out to Adrian Brody, but I
And
think again, I think he has that momentum, and I think he's had that great marketing campaign, and he's been wanting it for a while. So
I
I think
think this is miles better than DiCaprio and One Battle. I think there's more of a transformation in DiCaprio in One Battle. And I love One Battle after another, don't get me wrong, but it's like I think he gets out acted. Like the more I think about it, like especially by Sean Penn as Lockjaw, like that's the performance of that film. He
Yeah,
is really good in it, but it's like Marty Supreme, it's this like it's that the role of a century,
yeah, of course.
I could see the Oscars favouring that.
Yeah. I just want to talk about I want to talk about Daniel Lopatin's score. He worked previously with the Safdie brothers on Uncut Gems and Good Times, so
Yeah.
he's worked with them before, and it's electric. Like I was listening to it earlier, and it is just incredible.
So that
It it
well,
it it is that just hustle, and that it just drives you, and it just is a great addition to the film. And I think sometimes great scores are not, if it was a fantastic piece of music, I think that is a fantastic piece of music, but it's something that complements the film, adds to the story, and adds that tenseness and quickness of it.
he's he did Hurry Up Tomorrow. I think I'm getting him mixed up with another person, but there was another composer that did like everything this year, like from Eddington and Materialist, but I can't remember the name. But no, yeah, Daniel, is it Laputin?
Lopatin, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did Hurry Up Tomorrow, which I can't remember the score of that one because it's not on Spotify. But no, yeah, Marty Supreme, it's a good score. It's an electric score.
I think I'd still give the score to One Battle After Another, Johnny Greenwood, but I think
Yeah,
this is not far
I think
behind.
there's all better scores. I mean, if I could, I think the Begonia score was amazing.
Yeah,
But
I
Sinners, I prefer
and
the Sinners. It's the most re-listenable, so I listen to it on the
yeah,
train sometimes. But
I'd rather listen to One Battle After Another score. I think that's the best score from this year, and I think My Supreme and then Sinners are not too far behind that.
yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. But
Um,
and I was saying this to a friend. Um, I preferred the sentimental value, like kind of music, but I think that the licensed songs, Marty Supreme was just amazing. There's a scene and Marty Supreme where he's walking around a like well, I'm trying to get the Spotify here as I speak, but like a ping pong place, and it plays hold on, I'm just quickly skimming through the soundtrack here.
yeah, do you want me to just talk over a bit
Yeah,
just
just
while you get
talk.
that
Oh
up?
no, here I got The Order of Death by Public Image, and I was going like, holy shit, it just blended in so well. The 80s music really, I think, upped it.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to talk about the production design. I watched an interview with Jack Fisk, who did the production design for this, and he's done so many fantastic films and films where the sets take over. So he is probably one of, if not what, like the greatest production designer of all time. He's done Mulholland Drive, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Revenant, The Tree of Life, Thin Red Line, and The Straight Story. Like he's done everything. He's done, stuff from a bunch of different filmmakers, and the sets just feel so vibrant. They feel lived in. They have that the film itself, and this is a theme with a lot of the Safdie brothers, and especially obviously Josh Safdie, is they feel very New York, and that's a compliment. And I think that the whole like hustle and ambition culture of New York, that's definitely makes a way into the film. And I think those sets just allow the actors to act and to use that environment around them, and I just think that it does that to its whole advantage, and I think that works incredibly well.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. um, I'm
So
gonna go on.
So I just want to, like lead into a discussion about the ping pong and the cinematography attached to that, because I think obviously the movie is, well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a ping pong movie. I mean, yes, it is, but it's not. There's
Ping
not
pong's
a
in it, but it's not a ping pong film. It's not a sports film. I'm gonna try
yeah.
and move this so the light isn't casting over me like I'm an angel. But no, speaking of the cinematography, see like some of the ping pong scenes, especially kind of the opening credits.
Mm.
Did it remind you of Challengers a wee bit?
Yes, but in a different way to what I like. I have this down in my notes. So, like in challenges, it's how they have the ball as the camera and it kind of goes
Oh
over,
yes,
and it's
yeah, it
very
goes through the thing.
fancy. It's very fancy cinematography, and I feel like that's that. Not cinematography. My Supreme has gone for a complete opposite approach. There's a lot of close-ups in it, and there's a lot of wide sort of lens, like sort of long shots from the crowds. So I think that it
That
lets
it's more close-ups in the actual kind of warfare of it all. It
yeah,
feels like a
it
war zone.
feels it builds tension, and it allows you it strips it back and allows the table tennis to shine, and then it goes to close ups, and then goes back. So it allows the table tennis to sort of like shine through and show that sort of ability of that.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
so Timothée Chalamet had learnt table tennis for 7 years to do it in the film. So like a complete unknown, he did like the live singing. He played table tennis live, and yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of table tennis myself. I quite like playing it. But yeah, he's a very good table tennis player. And I think that it's incredible that they managed to do it all live, and that they were doing all that. And again, that just shows you that like his ambition. And I think that with Timothée Chalamet's sort of Oscar campaign, especially for last year, just finished filming Mighty Supreme, and I think that I read an interview and he said that like it's not a method way that, but definitely like the character sort of like influenced him in a like ambition, sort of just in that head of the character still a bit, but in that sort of that ambition, that drive, and I think that kind of it's a good film for him as his career at the minute, where I think that it's a film that has a lot of drive and ambition. Obviously, wants to be one of the greats, so I think that sort of reflects his acting career at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're skipping like half the cast here, but I want to talk about the performance that I was here for, and that is Tyler, the creator, as Wally.
Yeah.
And what did you think, for starters? Because we didn't get to speak about actually Marty Supreme until like, because I had to go the second week. But no, what did you think of Tyler, the creator, as Wally? In like 5 scenes even.
Yeah, so we watched we did a double bill of Mighty Supreme and Sentiment of I, and Sentiment of I was literally right after Mighty Supreme, so we basically had to walk out of the cinema and then walk straight into the next one, and it started. So we never really had time to sort of chat about Mighty Supreme properly. So this is like the first time we've done it. But yeah, I thought Tyler the Creator was good, and I have something just about the whole ensemble. Really, is it's not like there's a big, yes, there is a big supporting cast, but what I mean is it's Timothée Chalamet, and he has a Desperate
The rest are random.
Yeah, they have a Desperate Design for 5 scenes.
And
Tyler for 5 scenes.
Then Gwyneth Paltrow, then Kevin O'Leary, and then like
exactly. So I don't think that people come and go, but I don't think there's someone, especially in Oscars, and I watch this and I sort of agree with this. There's not loads of people that has enough screen time to warrant nominations. Timothée Chalamet will get the nomination, but again, I sort of read or watch this and I agree with it. I don't think everyone else will, just because I think that people have about 5, 6 good scenes and then go. But I have a analogy, and this is similar to an NBA role player, in the sense of you get people to come in for a game or for a few minutes when your star comes off the field. And I know obviously Timothée Chalamet's in every scene, but like come off the floor for a bit, and someone else comes in and shines and does really well, matches the energy of it, and comes off and does a job, and that's not me saying that they're bad, because they are, but they have a purpose in the story, and they know what the purpose is, and they give everything in those 5 scenes that they're in. And I think that the casting is so good, because you wouldn't naturally, I feel like a lot of people, they wouldn't naturally cast. So I think that the Safdies do a great job of casting people for the movie and match that New York-esque of them.
Yeah, because this is Tyler, so it's not his first film, but like I'm on Tyler the Creator's Letterboxd. He's done Piece by Piece as a teacher for 5 seconds, Jackass, Self, and then like a bunch of concert shit. So this is like his first role, and I think he's brilliant. I think he, matches the energy of the film, and I think Tyler, from his music and like interviews, he is energetic and he's loud and all. So I think he matches a Safdie brother film so well.
Yeah,
and then and then other performances. Odessa Zion, great. I didn't really know her before this, so
no, neither did I.
But no, she's barely in anything. Fuck.
I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow is sort of listed as the second supporting actress, but I'd probably say that Odessa Zion probably has the second most screen time in the movie. But I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow is more sort of listed as that second supporting actress.
That's because she's popular more.
Yeah, but I read somewhere, and I don't know how true this is, right? But this is just from what I read. Apparently, the first choice for the actor, what's the character's name again? Suddenly, just Keystone. The first choice was Julia Roberts, and she did
After him.
instead. But yeah, I think Gwyneth Paltrow is great. She hasn't acted in like 6 years or anything, but yeah, she's really good acting. She's really good in the 3 or 4 scenes she's in.
You know who was better than I expected? Kevin O'Leary. And there's a scene. Can we do spoilers on here? Or no?
Sure.
Alright, so we can do spoilers. You know, there was a scene that was kind of threatening but funny at the same time. The scene when he grabs the like bat and just spanks Timothee Chalamet.
Yeah.
Like that shit was funny. But
Yeah.
God was he? It was the you have no control in this.
Yeah.
And he's like on the see this bit is wooden and the other side is foam, and it's like the other scene towards the end he goes up and he goes if you win you're stuck here. I'm not giving you shit, no money. You're stuck in Tokyo. I was like, this dude's scary, but he's also kind of pathetic. Like the scene when Marty goes, "You, I'm not quoting these as accurate." It was like, "You, you decorated the Japanese so much when they killed your son,"
Oh
and it's
yeah.
like he is sort of like he doesn't. My friend says he doesn't care about his son. He only uses him if it benefits him. Like when he's talking to the other, um, player, and stuff about
Yeah.
like the Holocaust. It's like he only will use it if it gets him something.
I guess that's a comparison in the way with Marty Miles as a character. I mean, he uses people. He's like a con artist. He uses people to get to his ultimate goal. And I guess Rockwell, forgot his first name. What is it?
Melon.
Milton Rockwell uses people for money and for Rockwell Inc. To sell pens. Like he does it for money, whereas Marty does it for ambition and drive to be the greatest table tennis player of all time. So I think that they both have similar sort of goals, but one's done it and one's rich, whereas the others, got that hustle, come from nothing mentality background. And I think again, you what's the word? You want Marty to win in the end.
Yeah.
So
Even though he's not a good person,
yeah,
you
you
want him to
want
win.
you want him to win, and I think that's great from Timothée Chalamet. I think that's great from the writing point of view from Josh Safdie and Ronald Bronstein. And I think that he's a great anti-hero, and I think that we're back in that age where I think people would rather would rather is the wrong word, but I think people don't mind watching a film with a character that you don't like as much, but as a good
Wants to win.
yeah, and I think in the end you do end up rooting for him in that final table tennis match where he's playing with the Japanese. Yeah, and yeah,
Oh no,
you do naturally just want.
Udo here's something else, but I can't remember what. It's Kudo Endo.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, you do want him to win, and obviously he does at the end. But yeah, no, the ending is.
I'm talking about fucking German actor.
What?
Yeah, Udo Kier is a German actor. That's who I'm mistaken for. Fuck.
Oh.
Yeah, my bad.
I want to go to the Marty Supreme ball, right? So Marty Supreme is the ball, which I didn't know going into this. I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was just him Supreme. I don't know. But I was very surprised that the ball was Marty Supreme first. But the fact that it's in it for about 3 seconds. It's mentioned, and then you have the ball's being chucked out the window, and that's about it.
Yeah, because it's the same when he's. I'm gonna take the jacket off for this because my shirt's white, but it's like I have nothing for this. Here, it's like follow the white ball. It's like that scene.
Yeah.
And it's like such a big part of the marketing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's mentioned a couple times at the start. Then they're thrown up. They're mentioned like you see them like 2 or 3 times, something
Yeah.
along those lines.
I feel like, and this is not a criticism of the marketing and the trailers, but I feel like I've watched half of that movie without watching half of them. I don't know the plot lines and the relation, whatever, but I feel like a lot of the shots I feel like I've seen, and I feel like I've watched, especially that first half. I swear, like half of that I've seen in trailers or clips, and that maybe just because I've watched so much of like clips and reviews of it because I've been so excited for it. But I feel like a lot of, I don't know the
all the
plot
big
line.
scenes, they're in the trailer or at like the start.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I know what's happening or what the plot is and what the relations to that scene is. But I don't think that I don't like. I feel like I've seen like half those shots. And
Yeah.
it's funny. Like well, it's not funny, but I love how, and this is a testament of Safdie Brothers movies, is something small happens on a way to doing something that turns it to its own main plot line. Then, like the scene with the bat falls through the
The
uh,
bath falls, and
yeah,
that goes into the dog storyline, I
yeah, and
guess.
then that just becomes like half of the plot in the end. And it's like that's just so clever that they use a small thing that happens on a way to do something that turns into its own plot line and to ends up being like one of the main plot lines and the final shootout of the film.
Yes.
I think that's really great.
We probably should put a. We should probably should have put a spoiler warning at the start of this.
Hold on.
I just.
I'll do one after, like it, just say it.
Yeah,
After.
you can just like record one and or something, sneak it in.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and I kind of sort of going away from the movie, but it is related. I kind of want to talk about Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Benny Safdie defender. Was the Smashing Machine great? No. Was it good? Yes. I do think he. I feel like we shouldn't judge yet. I feel like we should let Benny Safdie cook. But if I'm being honest, I don't think he's into directing or writing.
But that's my thing. I think he's more in the acting side. I think he's more with the actors and helping the actors. I think that's more his contribution. I haven't read loads of it, but I've
I watched
feel
a
like
video about it, and they said how Josh or Benny Safdie's films or his characters especially, like he went on like the Curse and other roles he did, they're more like externally in pain or mad or insane. Their emotions are everywhere. While
yeah,
it's Marty Supreme, well, Josh Safdie, his characters like Marty Supreme, they're all quite like internal, and they're all like sort of building up to something. They're
yeah.
more realistic. Like they're not. They kind of hide it, whilst the others, they wear that shit on like their chest happily, and
Yeah.
it's like, and that that makes room for acting. Like those big crying scenes with the yelling in the car. Was Josh Safdie, it would kind of build up, then it would happen, but it wouldn't be as big.
Yeah. And I
That's
think,
what I find interesting.
yeah. Well, speaking of like that, I think as well, I'm going to do a comparison to Uncut Gems here because in Uncut Gems, it feels like it's going 150 miles an hour from the start to the end. Whereas I think that Marty Supreme is going 100 miles an hour from the start, yes, but I think that it lets it unfold and it gives you time to get into the story. But it has quiet bits with a breather, which I quite enjoyed at the start, maybe, and then it goes really tense at the end. But I think that it's still really tense the whole way through. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's not as intense at the start as Uncut Gems. Also, I don't think that Uncut Gems you don't get a break, but I think that this you get breathed throughout, and I think that that's really nice because it allows you to sort of not wind down because it's still going really, really quick, even in the quiet and more quiet moments. There's always something happening. You're always kept on edge. You're always kept on tense, and I think I think it allows you to get into the story a bit more.
Yes, this reminds me of a video I saw today on TikTok that Marty Supreme would be better as a 90-minute movie than a 150-minute movie. And I think, thinking about that, like, I think the slower moments build up the characters. If this film was just Uncut Gems, where it would go up, 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 boom, and it wouldn't, it would feel rushed.
Yeah, I agree. But then I was talking to Zach about it, who we watched the film with, and he said that he'd be curious on rewatches that because he knows everything that happens, would his enjoyment go down? And I want to disagree on that, but I haven't seen it twice, so I wouldn't know. But I'm curious to see if he will be right. But
I'm
the
just
reason
gonna
why,
compare it to the other Softies that I've watched. No,
yeah.
because it won't be as intense, but I think you will still enjoy it. Sort of
Maybe
thing.
you can look more on the characters and that. But again,
Yeah.
like my relation with Uncut Gems was I thought it was okay. I mean, I watched it before I got the film. Like I was a big Adam Sandler fan when I was younger. So when I saw that he was in a film and it looked like pretty intense, I was like, oh, I'll put it on. But I didn't really like it at all. Really, I just thought it was air. So when then I watched then I watched it again once I got into film because everyone really loved it, and I thought it was again. I thought it was maybe a bit too tense. It was okay, and then I watched it like a month ago because like when March Spring Trailers, like the teaser had been out and it looked incredible, and then I'd also seen everyone was like, "Oh yeah, if you love Uncut Gems, it's going to be like this." This was after the New York premiere, and everyone's like, "This is basically like Uncut Gems. Like if you love Uncut Gems, you're going to love this." And I obviously didn't love Uncut Gems, so I was like, well, maybe I'll give it another go just because the trailers look so good. And then I watched it and I see the vision. So, and then I watched it again with my parents, and it was, I loved it as much. So it definitely went upwards trajectory for me. So I
Do you
wonder if
think Good Time will grow on you? Because I know you give out
yeah,
like a 3.5.
yeah, I think so.
I need to rewatch Good Time, so I'd happily, even though we've seen it
Yeah, yeah,
together, I would happily rewatch that with you.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
But yeah. Anyways, back to whatever we're on now. Okay, so I was talking about this with Aaron. If we're name dropping, I guess I'll do it. Aaron and I were talking about cinematography. Um, and I know I'm kind of spoiling the next kind of bit of the episode, but I liked how Marty Supreme's was more fast paced, especially the scene when the cops are chasing him. The camera moves with him, while
yeah,
his sentimental value kind of just sits there and lets the characters just push everything onto it. While
yeah,
as Marty Supreme, it's like we're here, here, here. You have to follow us. So like it's like a person itself, which I respect. I love when films
yeah,
make the camera a character.
yeah. I agree. So I think we are going to wrap up the discussion on My Supreme there. Is there any final thoughts, and what is your final rating of My Supreme?
This shit's peak could become like top high key could become top three potential on a rewatch. I think this shit's perfection. But this could just high key be like I've said high key like 5 times now. Fucking sentence. This could be best of the decade potential on a rewatch, but 5 stars. I love it. Marty Supreme's peak, best song of the year. That's all I say.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's fantastic. It's pretty a masterpiece. Will it go up on rewatches? I guess we'll have to see. I'm going to rewatch it soon, hopefully, because I know my parents are really excited to go and see it. But hopefully, again, I want it to be up there, but we're just going to have to see. But for now, it's a 4.5, and I'm not going to spoil my top 10 of the year because we may have an episode on that soon.